about some of the new ATF rulings and kind of what's going on and how we now measure pistols, because some jackwagon decided to continue to write letters to the ATF. Number one, don't write letters to the ATF and ask for clarification. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. Before we get into these pistols though, I'm on Patreon, Instagram, and Twitter. All the links will be in the description. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I really appreciate it. You, my subscribers, you guys are awesome. Go ahead and hit that notification bell. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Twitter and Instagram, on those feeds quite a bit, posting stuff, Facebook as well. So go ahead and check us out. Anyway, the second thing I want to talk about is on the 4th of July in Tempe, Arizona, 6 police officers ordered a coffee and were sitting down and drinking their coffee. And then a barista walked up to him and asked them to leave the premises because their presence made one of the customers uncomfortable, the sight of them. They were asked to either get out of the line of sight or leave the place. So they left. Absolutely unacceptable. Don't use Starbucks anymore. I mean, they've had questionable politics for a long time, but now, that is completely unacceptable to kick out ask peace officers to leave because somebody's uncomfortable with their presence. Like, they're not doing anything wrong. They're sitting there drinking their coffee and you tell them to leave. That's a complete double standard over and over again. And there's a reason the divide grows greater between people and the police officers in this country. Number 3, how the ATF now measures pistols. So I'm gonna break this up a little bit. Number 1, AR pistols with an attached buffer tube without a folding mechanism, as you see here. So the entire functionable part is used. So the reason we do this is because we're trying to get to 20, because if you get to 26 inches overall length, it's no longer considered a pistol and doesn't fall into that category. So you can run a vertical grip. So the way this would measure is because the buffer tube is part of its function now, which is weird, and later it kind of gets really different. From the end of the buffer tube to the end of the muzzle or permanently attached muzzle device. This one is like right on the dot, could go either way, to be honest. The number one way to get around this for guys like this that have an 11.5-inch barrel gun go ahead and get from BCM the Voltor A5 intermediate buffer tube system. You're gonna have to divide the buffer, the spring. You probably just get away with the buffer and the spring. I'm pretty sure they're the same. I'm not sure. Look on their website though. It'll tell you what you need to know. But the intermediate tube is just a little bit longer, and run your brace on it, and then you're gonna be over that 26 inches to run vertical grips. So that's part 1. Part 2 is if you have a folding mechanism of any kind, you have to measure it from the folded position. So if I had a Law tactical folder here and this buffer tube's folded from the side, even though it can't function, it can fire 1 round, right? But it can't completely function in the folded position. You have to measure from the back of the folder forward. So you're gonna have to have, it's something like you're gonna have a 16-inch barrel to be legal with the overall length. The problem that you could see is, and even a little longer than 16 inches, I think, you can pin a 14.5-inch pin and welded upper on that lower and still be less than 26 inches overall length. And so then you created an AOW, and it's kind of a slippery slope. The third thing is any kind of pistol that doesn't have a buffer tube that needs to be used, like an AK pistol that's over 26 inches. The brace itself, or a buffer tube or whatever's attached to it, is not part of the function of that firearm. Therefore, it does not count in the overall length. So basically, from the back of the receiver forward is how you would measure those AR pistols. Other than that, this is just it. Number one, vertical grip. The ATF, there's not a federal law on vertical grips or description, but the ATF itself determines a vertical grip is a grip that is 90 degrees perpendicular to the bore of the rifle. So a CAG from BCM, which I have misstated previously, a CAG kinesthetic angle grip, or a Magpul AFG, those grips are definitely not 90 degrees perpendicular to the bore. The kind of one that runs funny and is a gray zone is this one, because this is a BCM forward grip. you can see them run like this or the other direction, but they are not 90 degrees perpendicular to the bore. And people don't grab them like this. They don't use them as a vertical grip. They use them as an angle grip if you're doing things right or normal. So they post off of it this way. So there's kind of a gray area there. All in all, so number one is all gun rights are infringement. Number two, this is just complete idiocy, and the ATF is completely asinine in the way that they determine things. And you guys have got to stop writing letters to the ATF asking for clarification on stuff that's already, legal. Because every time something comes back from the clarified from the ATF, it infringes on your rights more and more. Every time they will always go to the side of more infringement. And at some point you have to decide when enough is enough, and getting closer and closer. Anyway guys, that's how you measure your pistol firearm now. Don't use Starbucks because they're terrible. And quit sending freaking letters to the ATF. It's completely stupid. Anyway guys, I'm Jesse with Hunt Training. Like I said, Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, all those links will be in the description. I hope you guys are having a great day, go be better, all that stuff. And today I'm a little sad because a little bit more of our rights have got taken away. Anyway guys, hope you have a better day, and we will see you next time.